Hi everyone, this video is going to be a wear test and review for one of Maybelline's upcoming new foundations. It's this one right here. It is the Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. So there is a version of this that is a non-radiant version that was released a while back, and this one will be hitting stores probably in the next couple of months. So if you want a sneak peek at what this formula is like, I will apply it for you in this video. I have already been testing it over the series of several days by now, and I will give you a review and my thoughts on the formula. Make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button, follow Allura Beauty on Instagram, and if you didn't see the latest video, I will link it in the upper right hand corner for you. It is for another upcoming new product by Maybelline. That is their Cheek Heat Gel Cream Blushes. There are 6 shades releasing, so I do swatch all of the shades and I apply several of them to the cheeks, and I also tell you what I think of the formula in that video. So if you're interested, make sure you go check that out. All right, let's get applying and reviewing the new upcoming foundation from Maybelline. And if I am talking a little funny in this video, it's because I had some work done at the dentist a few days back and it's still really sore, so just a disclaimer. The look that I have on my eyes was created using Melt's Vita palette, just 2 or 3 of the shades. So if you are not familiar with this collection, this is their holiday collection. I'm also wearing the highlighter from that collection. If you want to go see swatches and see what that collection is about, I will also link that in the upper right hand corner for you. All right, so first of all, this foundation is currently available to purchase through Amazon. It is not widely available in drugstores yet or online at places like Target or Walmart to purchase, but should be fairly shortly. On Amazon, this retails for $10.99. As always, I will put a link in the description box below to where you can find it currently if you are interested in purchasing it right away, as well as a link to eBay so that if you do online shop, then you can get cash back on your order. There are about 20 shades in this range. There are only a handful of really deep shades, which is unfortunate. It is difficult to tell what the shades accurately look like on the websites. That's just an unfortunate thing about online shopping. The shade that I ended up choosing was 20 Classic Ivory, and I still feel like that's a little bit deep for my skin, especially during the colder months, but it's not too far off, but you can probably tell the difference in tone and depth from my neck to my face. I did not bring it down on my neck, so you can kind of see the difference. I'm usually about an NC20 in MAC. For the packaging, these come in a glass bottle with a plastic top and a plastic pump, which makes it really nice to keep it sanitary. You get the typical 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. And what's interesting about this formula, obviously it's supposed to be a dewy, more hydrating formula because that's in the name, but it also says that it has hyaluronic acid in here and collagen. Now, collagen is not something that actually does much for your skin when applied topically. In order for collagen to really do something for the skin, it needs to come from within the body. So that part of the formula I'm not that interested in, but the hyaluronic acid is something that is nice for kind of plumping up the skin. So I'm glad that that's contained in the ingredients. I didn't see much else in the ingredients list in terms of really good anti-aging ingredients, but fortunately there also are not damaging ingredients. There's no alcohol that I can tell and no fragrance added that I can tell, or volatile fragrant oils. For those particularly interested in the hydrating aspect, there is also glycerin and shea butter in the formula, which should help moisturize the skin. So I pretty much covered what I think is notable for the ingredients. Let's look at the description and what the claims are for the formula. It says that this is a medium radiant coverage foundation. It's supposed to be lightweight, moisturizing to the skin, and give it a natural look. It says up to 12 hours of hydration, and that the formula is supposed to make the skin look smooth and even. In terms of the coverage, it says that it gives you medium coverage. Some of the more fluffy claims are things like skin looks healthy, plumped, and radiant from within. I agree that the formula is medium coverage. When I applied the first layer, it gives me, I would say, light to medium coverage, and it builds just a little bit to give medium coverage. As you can tell from the footage, it doesn't quite cover up the blemishes, so you do need additional concealer for that purpose. And just as background, the time that I'm testing in the footage that I cut in here, I put Smashbox's regular original primer on one side of my face only to see whether there was any difference in the wear or finish of the foundation with primer versus without. In this video, the one that you clicked on, I am not wearing any sort of primer. So it's just over my skincare. At the end of the day, it didn't really matter. I did not see a significant difference in the smoothness, the level of coverage, the longevity of the wear on the side that I had the primer on versus the side that I didn't have primer on. This has a liquid formula, but it is not super watery. It's not super thick either, but it's in between. Now, in terms of the finish, I do agree that it is a more radiant finish. So for someone like me who has combination skin, that means that it imparts a bit of shininess that I probably otherwise wouldn't want. So it's something that I would typically want to set with powder, although in this video and in the footage from the past testing that I've done, I did not set it with powder because I wanted to see how it wore throughout the day and what the finish looked like without setting it with powder. So I do think that if you are someone who has normal to maybe slightly dry skin, this might be a good formula, but I think that if you have truly dry skin, this actually doesn't feel hydrating enough for that purpose to really give moisture to the skin. And by the same token, if you're combination or oily, I think that you probably wouldn't lean towards this foundation unless at the very least you're setting with a good oil combating setting powder. I also feel like the foundation is not the kind of foundation that feels heavy on the skin, although again, it is not, I wouldn't categorize it as super lightweight feeling. And maybe that's a product of the fact that I felt like I did need to do more blending and dabbing with this formula to get these streaks away and try to make it look as smooth as possible, at least on my skin. I don't think that it is the most flawless looking, and I think that's probably my biggest criticism of this formula. I don't feel like it makes my skin look super smooth. It definitely emphasized things like the lines on either side of my nose. I noticed something I don't think I've really ever noticed with any foundation that I've tested that I can remember. I noticed a clear demarcation above my Cupid's bow, that line there above the lip that connects from your lip to the bottom of your nose. So there was definitely texture on my skin that I think was emphasized and was not smoothed out, and in fact was made worse looking by this particular formula. So if you are someone who doesn't have any sort of fine lines or texture on your skin, this formula might be fine for you. But even with my skin, where I feel like I don't have prominent wrinkles, but I do have some fine lines, I feel like those were made more noticeable by this foundation. And in terms of longevity and wear, it definitely continued to emphasize those fine lines, maybe became a little worse over time. The first cutaway that you see was after wearing the foundation for 2 hours, and then the next cutaway is around the 5 or 6 hour mark. The most noticeable things after the 5 or 6 hour mark were that I was more oily and shiny, which is kind of expected. And funny enough, because I had a little bit more oil in my skin, I feel like that actually smoothed out a little bit the emphasis that I had before around the nose area and around the Cupid's bow. So because the oils kind of smoothed out those areas, I felt like those lines were actually not as emphasized. But I think that that is a product, again, of my skin type and not because the foundation itself became more smooth over time. So at the end of the day, not a foundation that I have super negative things to say about, but also at the end of the day, just not a formula that I'm particularly excited about. I definitely think that, at least for my skin, there are much better formulas out there. And so it's just kind of an in-between foundation that might work really well for you if you have normal to drier skin and you don't have any issues with fine lines. But unless you fall into that category, I just think that it's not a particularly exciting new foundation for you to have to jump on. So those are my thoughts. Please share with me what yours are. Everyone's skin is different. So particularly when it comes to foundation, the quality of the formula may change a lot depending on what kind of skin you have and what you're looking for in the foundation formula. So I'm always curious to see what people's experiences are, especially when you have a different skin type. I hope this video was helpful to you if you were eyeing this new foundation. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.